All right, guys, welcome back to another one. My name is Tyler, and you're listening to the Whispering Wild podcast.
Nope, you got it wrong. It's presented by Whispering Wild.
Presented by, dang it, I knew I was going to screw it up.
Let's start it back over
That's
again.
right.
I didn't even get 30 seconds in.
Wind
That's
it back.
bad.
Wind it
Keep it
back.
going.
Are you sure it's recording?
Oh, it's recording, all right.
I think you should start it over.
Wind it back.
Guys,
This
we have
is-
special guests tonight. Myself.
That ain't as special.
Yeah.
Dang,
No, maybe he is special.
Ooh.
Too soon.
too soon. Hey, your mom called. She wants you to be home by 10 o'clock, Will.
I'm waiting for the text, actually. I know it's going to come here eventually.
All right, guys. So we're in a new location here today, as you guys can tell from our last podcast. For those of you that are watching and listening, for those of you just listening on Spotify or Apple Music, the area we're in here is possibly a basement, possibly not, depending on if, I don't know.
What's with the...
Depends on your imagination.
Depends on your imagination. So
Right.
basically, we're in a room that was built in what year, Caleb?
Like 1830.
1830s. So we got all old oak, hand-hewed beams everywhere. That's what they're called, right? Hand-hewed?
Yeah.
Hewn.
Yeah.
Hewn.
Hewned.
I believe they're hemlock, but we're not going to.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
going to say,
I
I
don't
don't think you do oak.
They're oak.
Just let them have it.
Yeah.
Just for like, the
That's
oak.
right.
And,
Like, let me just talk about...
the acorn.
Let me feel like I know what I'm doing, at least for like a couple minutes here. So we're in a new location here at our buddy Caleb's house. That's okay, I say that, right? Right, your house?
Yeah.
All right, so...
Just don't give them my address.
I
took
couldn't
John-
figure it out
it
either.
John's never been here before, so it took him about 4 FaceTimes and like 3 pin drops to get here.
Yeah, he went to 4 other podcasts before he got to this one.
No, I pulled up in someone's driveway and they were not having it.
yeah.
You know,
We're working on getting the sign out front that says Timber Springs, home of the 7-Point Hunt Club. But we're getting there.
Are people going to know what Timber Springs is or no?
Well, by the time we're done with this, they're going to know.
Okay.
When they see the feathers falling.
Oh, yeah.
big
Oh, we're
bucks
going to get into
dropping.
that. There's some serious waterfowl
They'll,
upgrades to this property.
They'll
there.
remember what it's called.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're down in the basement here. We figured this would be a really cool spot to podcast with all these old beams and everything. So, very cool area. We hope you guys can see us well with the lighting, but
We have 3 light bulbs here.
excuse me, just getting over a cold here. COVID.
5 minutes before the podcast started, he's like, wow, I was feeling really good the past couple of days, but all of a sudden my throat,
No, I'm just about over it. I'm like 98%. All right, moving on here.
5 minutes before he jumped on, he's like, hey, my throat,
Don't worry,
I don't know
folks,
what's
you
going
can't
on.
get sick
No.
through the mic.
He's mixing up some tea and some
Yeah.
honey. And, yeah. We're
So
good
anyways,
to go.
let's go-
Now we're good to go.
Let's go around the room here with our introductions. Starting
Hey.
from your left to our right.
Yeah, so John Lense. Yeah, I'm back.
I'm back.
Oh, Daddy's back. Don't worry about it. We'll get into the truck update later in the
Oh,
cast.
yeah, we definitely have to touch on the truck update.
Don't worry. Yeah, workman shitty. Don't worry about it. All right, Will. All right, sorry. To my left, we have next.
We're to your right.
Sorry.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Will Eggert. Next.
That is the freaking most lame.
I want to get into the talking. I mean, we already introduced ourselves last time. What am I going to say?
All right.
I had a great week at work.
This guy sounds
And now you're
miserable.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. My name's
Work was
Tyler,
great.
and today our special guest. You want to introduce yourself?
My name's Caleb Vandergroof. Welcome to the crib.
Tell me a little bit about yourself here,
Place
Caleb.
is sweet.
What do you do for work? What's your occupation?
My occupation, excavation contractor / waterfowl enthusiast.
I like that one.
Yeah, more so waterfowl enthusiast. I kind of just do the excavating thing for
On the side.
You get a paycheck.
Yeah, just for the
pay
money.
bills. But it goes really
Don't we
well.
all?
Yeah, but yeah, kind of a jack of all trades, master of none.
Good title.
Yeah, grew up as a deer hunter and then got into wing shooting with pheasants.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of snowballed really quick into the waterfowl world. And
Would you say that waterfowl is your go-to then over deer hunting now?
Yeah, I mean, if I have a chance to get on a really good feed of geese or a bunch of mallards in a swamp, I'm probably going to take it over the deer. Just because I know, like, the deer lives here. Like, this is his home.
Yeah.
He's within 5 miles of here. But the ducks could be gone tomorrow. Or, like, the snow geese, they could be already gone and setting us up for failure. So you never know.
Yeah, so today's, what's today? March 3rd, I believe?
Today's the
Fourth.
Oh, geez. So today's Friday night, March 4th, and there's quite a few snow geese around. Caleb's been scouting and stuff.
There
Weird.
is. Yeah, we got the pretty good scouting reports. This is the first year we're getting into it with a real spread, though.
Yeah, tell them about what you got.
Yeah, we've rented spreads in the past. When I was going to school in Virginia, we'd rent a spread, bring it up here. It's kind of a hassle, though, because they're here today, gone tomorrow. But a couple of us just went in big on 1,000 decoys. So we're rocking and rolling with the dive bomb squad on that one.
How many dozen?
And it's 90 dozen plus some. Then we got
90
Canadas for some confidence, some flyers. Now, when we rented the spread, we always did it when it wasn't conservation season, so there's no e-collars.
I remember
He thinks he has a sore throat. If you tune back to that video, if you hear me calling in that video, I couldn't
Forget
talk
about
for.
it.
I literally couldn't talk for a week. But yeah, that's what you get for trying that game. So now it's conservation season, so we got e-collars. So we do a lot of predator hunting. Well, we got a Fox Pro. We'll try to see if that works. I mean, it works. It's like quasi speaker-ish, but not enough.
So for those of you,
we're working on it.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, snow goose hunting is it's a migratory bird. They are in Canada, right? For most better part of the year.
Yeah, I mean they nest north of the boreal forest. The lighter snow geese. We have greater snow geese here. They're like up in the Hudson Bay region, but they're afraid of snow. Contradictory to their name.
Yeah, they can't winter over. They can't winter over.
So they got to come south. So right now they're on their springtime migration back north, and they're basically chasing the snow line. So as the snow recedes, they're going, and they'll fly hundreds of miles a day just looking to go back north because they want to lay their eggs and be ready to lay their eggs when they get there. But right now they're feeding, they're storing their fat to be able to do that, and they're on the return. Now the conservation season is something totally different than what we're normally hunting. Normally, we're hunting strict rules. 30 minutes before dark, you're done right before the birds start flying. Sometimes the conservation season's different. You got unlimited birds. Your plug's out up to 7 shells in the state of New Jersey in your shotgun, and you're able to rock an e-collar. So instead of hand calls, you're rocking the e-collar. So it gives you an edge on them, but they're smart and they have strength in numbers.
And so the reason why you need so many decoys is you're dealing with tons and tons of birds.
Yeah.
I can't even describe. Like, I was working out of my shop the other day and
On the truck?
and just seeing the amount of birds that were flying overhead. They were well above calling range, but it was just.
That's not true. When I drove past your house
there's
Tuesday
been
morning, there
times.
was like 200 like
Oh no!
not
Today,
that high coming towards your house.
Today, at 20 after 6 in the morning, there was 30 snow geese coming in. Like they were in calling range, but there's times where it's like there's hundreds of snow geese that are just migrating.
I would say compared to years past, like there's tons of Canadas and snow geese around right now.
Yes.
I'd say
Yes.
birds in general, there's more birds this year.
Yeah.
I think part of it has to do with the weather. It's still pretty cold north of us. It's cold here, but the lakes are starting to open up. So like we're that first jump for them before they're gonna make their big leap.
Yeah.
So like normally if there's no snow above us, those geese they're gonna spend like a day or two here. That's it. And they're going to those bigger fields in upstate New York or following the coast right up to where they want to go. But right now, if that's covered in snow, they're like, man, we got to stay here. And they don't like it, obviously. New Jersey doesn't have all they want to offer, you know.
We're just in like that perfect zone right now between too far south and right on the edge of.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Which, I mean, one giant snowstorm could send everything out of the north right back to us. You know, any ducks that try to go up we'll have to come right back. So it's cool to watch the influx of them constantly moving. I think that's what lures me in to the waterfowl hunting so much, is dealing with those birds. Like, a lot of them don't live here. Like, they are coming for a reason. You know, they're traveling through. So to be able to get them to trip up doing that is something really special. Yeah. You saw it perfect on the goose hunt there 2 weeks ago.
Oh man, if you guys haven't watched that video, check it out.
Yeah, that was good. We scouted for months and months and months, and that's obviously a historical good spot we try to go to every year. And the birds just weren't using it. It froze over. We were shot. You know, there was no cornfields to hunt in. There was no other roost nearby. The birds couldn't do anything. And then we got it opened up with that ice ripper.
That thing works awesome.
Yeah, and it within 4 days they found it. Just the local birds that were still hanging on tooth and nail in the rivers, and we scouted it. There was like 30 birds, 40 birds. We're like, man, not very impressive, but the end of the goose season, let's try to do it. And we went down there the night before to set up the spread, and they were pouring in from the heavens. They were just
It was absolutely insane.
and that's when I realized that we could possibly have something special on our hands, because instead of watching them load up in there day after day after day and then hunting them, the next day that we were hunting could be the day that they were going to choose to come. A matter of fact, out here in front of our house, we have a spring that stays open year round because it flows right out of the ground. And it was probably one of the coolest things to be able to wake up in the morning, have your cup of coffee, look out the window, and watch 100 greenheads land in there at first light, and then watch Canada's pour in there, and then watch the ringnecks come in there. And they're all just out there like a refuge hanging out because it's the only open water
Right
around.
in your backyard.
And here, I consider myself a pretty big waterfowl hunter. Here I am in my house with no will to even go out there and hunt them, because I feel like that was their safe spot. Like, I almost felt bad for them because I knew that was their open water that they had in the region. So might as well let them enjoy it, kind of thing,
So we actually, I filmed Caleb do a wood duck box video, and it's on our YouTube if you want to check that out. But, excuse me,
That cold.
There's
it's getting late, so my voice
there
is
it
not
is.
in there. So,
Yeah, it's coming out.
so a couple weeks ago, we came to Caleb's place here, and we hung all the boxes, or majority of them, and we got the full tour of Caleb's place here.
Well, we were
and-
going to hang them all, but then you had to get going for shed hunting.
Yeah,
But
that's
the part he missed on film was where Will and I were out there with my pops. And,
I heard about this. Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing really good on hanging them, and it was like one more step on the ice, one more
man.
step. And I was out there. I said, "Hey, Dad, throw me that drill." Will was going to throw me the screws, and the dog came over and put his feet up and put the pressure on the ice.
It broke right through.
Broke right through.
Oh, man.
So then I was standing in waist deep water. It's frozen, freezing cold. I was just wearing muck boots. My dad's like, "I think it's going to be too low if you hang it there." I'm like, "Well, yeah, no kidding."
The dog swimming around.
Yeah, the dog's swimming around me. I couldn't even get out of
Caleb's
the
so
ice.
bad.
Wood duck box 2 feet above the
Yeah.
I'm like, "We're finishing this next week."
Yeah. I'm
It
cold.
was snowing sideways.
Yeah.
But in the video, we kind of got the full tour of Caleb's place here and what he's done to improve the habitat. And I don't know, Will and I were talking. It's pretty impressive what you've done here, and we're excited to kind of help out and kind of. Excuse me, this is gonna be a long night.
Yeah.
It'll be neat. It'll be really cool.
Tell
Go
us,
ahead, Will.
Tell
Tell me
us.
about
Give us a brief overview of what the property looks like. How big is it?
Yeah, so basically it's my wife's Hereford farm, and we have a piece here that connects to it, so we're backed right up to it. And
How many acres would you say?
it's like 300 total, which for these guys out west, they're like 300.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that ain't nothing.
In New Jersey, that's a
Yeah.
In New Jersey,
Huge.
it's a good enough
Yeah.
chunk that you can not maybe 100% manage your deer population, but you can keep
make
good
something
tabs on.
happen.
You know,
Yeah, you
you
come
can keep
close.
good tabs on them. And like John, what do you got for acreage? You say like 250, 300 you're working with over there?
250, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, about the same idea.
Yeah.
We don't have any crops that are heavy here on the property, so it's mainly hay fields and cattle pasture.
But coming into it, explain the property when you came into it. It was overgrown.
Yeah, it was when we first got set up here. It was just had been let go. Everything was grown over. All the trails, all the old logging roads. And once you take the canopy out of the forest, and log it, you end up with all that just growing right over. So coming into it, I'm like, wow, this place is like, it's rough. Like it needs some help. Yeah. And that's something that like, it takes time to do all that, to clean that up and to retrim trails and open it up just to see what you even are working with. You don't know what's wet, dry. And to be able to do that, I didn't think I'd have the time. But
it's a lot.
COVID came along. And
blessing in disguise.
I think COVID actually opened up some opportunities for a lot of people that they never realized.
Oh yeah,
they
100%.
They even had. But being able to do that, and have 7 days off here and 7 days off there to do the work on the property, when you're supposed to be at your normal day job, I was able to get a lot done and find that there was some really good potential for the waterfowl with some flooded woodland, for the wood ducks and some natural swamps that I think at one time have been dammed up, maybe like in the 60s or something.
Yeah.
Because I've tripped over a couple rock walls that are underneath the water. So something tells me it was probably really fertile ground back in the day. And at some point they dammed it up and, made a swamp out of it. But the ducks like that. The only problem is the water has to be managed correctly so that you have dry down periods. Because to manage the soil, it's called moist soil management. For all our viewers that are interested in it, you can look into it. It's pretty neat. But basically, for the seeds to be able to grow that are naturally occurring in the wetlands, it has to a lot of times dry down, and those seeds have to crack open and be able to grow. So in order to do that, you have to be able to control your water a little bit, and it can become a very productive wetlands. So we're trying different stuff with that, and have hopefully some cool stuff coming out this spring of working with that and making some plots for the deer and some bedding sites and stuff. So yeah, cool.
So this is your first year,
right?
Really hunting it.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about what kind of a season did you have?
Yeah. So our duck season was absolutely awesome. We kind of took I don't want to say, how do I say this? We kind of took a laid back approach.
Conservative.
Conservative as far as the duck killing went.
Right.
Because in my eyes, because they're migratory, if you go out there and you do everything in your power to kill them all, then you kind of cut yourself short for, future time. Right. So a lot of times what I like to do is, especially since now we're hunting on, these private pieces where we can manage, letting those ducks come in the morning. If it's in the dark, it's shooting light, but it's still dark. Let them go. Walk them off. Let them fly. They're going to work their way back if they want to come in there, but they're going to come back in smaller groups.
Right.
So we did very well. We shot a mess of wood ducks and mallards and some teal. We didn't get into anything else too special. Hopefully next year they'll come around.
Yeah.
But we were able to shoot our first banded duck on the property, which was from New Brunswick, Canada, 500 miles away.
That's awesome.
That's really awesome.
So that was a highlight to know that, hey, like this, this stuff you're doing, it's working.
Right.
Like these ducks aren't from like down the road in like a farm pond.
Yeah.
This is the real deal.
We briefly talked about it, when we were first putting up those wood duck boxes, like this is the type of property that there's a lot of birds locally accessing it too. So you could go out there for, 3 to 5 years and kill every duck in sight and have awesome hunts.
Yeah. And have pile pictures for like 3 years. And then all of a sudden it's like,
then what?
Oh, what did I do?
Exactly.
Like this isn't good. So the sustainability is
Caleb's really doing a great job and thinking about not just tomorrow's hunt, but what the hunting looks like 3 years from now, which I think a lot of people kind of overlook these days, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And it's hard, like hunting public land, like, if you're not, maybe taking those further shots or those low light shots, the next guy's just going to shoot him probably, right?
Yeah.
But in a situation like that, in this situation, knowing that there was a pretty good roost on the property and there was opportunities that we had to shoot them, we started working on the duck part of things 2 years ago, actually, and didn't even hunt them the first season and just kind of let it go.
Right.
And went down there. Water levels weren't really good, and just got to see that they liked the area. With doing little, they liked it. And then this year we have a piece of flooded woods, and we didn't hunt that either. So we were able to see what it was like without any hunting pressure. Hopefully next year, first thing, opening weekend, we'll be able to really enjoy that. Those ducks will remember. They imprint, so they'll want to come back. But deer hunting was also very cool. We ran cameras from August, and we still have cameras out now. And to be able to follow those deer consistently, we're next to a large piece of property that's state land, like 1,500 acres, and it's run rampant with hunting. A lot of pressure.
It's insane. I pheasant hunt that property.
Yeah.
John lives pretty close to Caleb.
We're pretty close together, and I pheasant hunt that state land, and we, as pheasant hunters, we go through every single inch of that property to find the pheasants.
And if you don't, your dog definitely did.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So my dog has been within yards of Caleb's place here, and
John's like, this is that property I've always walked through. Yeah,
This is where I saw the cockbirds flying across the road.
that's the worst part.
We've been close
come
to
up
it,
to the
but
edge, and
I never went in, I swear.
it's hard. Yeah, it's hard because you're pushing everything that you can, and your dog is working as hard as it can, and
as far as I know, that's state land.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you have to get cut off at some point, and
I'm out there
that's where we
hammering
are.
postage signs to the trees. Here comes John across the road, 3 dogs flying.
He's like, let me just pull out my Onyx and quick check. Pretend like I didn't know.
No, but it's a very heavily pressured area for sure.
100%. The only thing it has going for it is that's really some swampy land over there too, besides the CRP fields, and it's hard to cover for some avid deer hunters to really get in there.
Yep.
And even when they're driving deer in the late season, those deer have places that they can hide that are like
Easy.
a hole in the wall. You're never gonna find them.
Yeah,
You could drive that piece?
Guys do, yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
It's just no one
I didn't
wants.
this year.
It's hard.
Yeah, I know a couple guys did. They did pretty good with it last year, and shot a couple does this year. But it's one of those pieces you go in there one time, you see 30 deer. The next time you don't even see a tail.
Really?
But
We've
the
got
deer,
a lot of experience with that.
yeah,
Not seeing deer.
If there's anyone.
yeah. But yeah,
This is the No Deer podcast.
I've come to the conclusion that Will is bad luck in the deer woods.
He keeps blaming me.
when Will's not here, we should have dropped that.
When we blame each other, it makes the time pass. It makes the no deer okay.
It makes you feel like you're not as bad of a hunter as you really are.
you're not really here to tell people how to hunt. You're here to tell them how not to hunt.
How not to do it.
Exactly.
We're just telling them what we do, what works for us,
What doesn't work for us.
We keep preaching that like this is what works for us. We're still figuring that part out. What actually works for us.
Oh, man.
Tell you cell cameras work. Are you running
Oh
any cell
man,
cameras?
they've been so awesome this year.
I was a little skeptical at first
So
because
was I.
the first couple years that they were out, guys had tons of problems with them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know, like they were really expensive at first, but now they're in the price range of sometimes the same as a normal camera.
Yeah.
They're so. It's just like the price is the same for a camera, but then you gotta pay extra for the month. But it's like for
Yeah,
me,
but some
I'm
of
just
them
like,
aren't that expensive.
But
No.
then the time that you would have spent going to check your cameras, if you would have
And
just
going
worked
in
another
there,
hour, then
yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's
That's
a
it.
catch.
I'm torn up. Yeah.
Yeah, even here,
And-
like
and you
all of
know
our
right away,
cameras
you know.
are accessible
But it's
by
good,
side by
too.
side.
Yeah.
If you're limited on days you can hunt,
Right.
there's a couple things. You don't want to go in there. You don't want to like put all your scent everywhere, blow out the area, maybe going in or accessing it because you're doing it after work quick before dark or whatever,
Yep.
which isn't like an ideal time to check your camera. So then picking and choosing which days you're going to hunt, especially in November, like, if you've got a lot of deer activity that day, like maybe the next day is the day to get in if there's a cold front coming in or something, like,
Right.
when the deer are going to be there and whatever. Oh, there's Will's mom. All right, podcast is over. We appreciate you guys listening. We'll
Ski
get
for fun.
So yeah, but I actually I went shed hunting that day after we went through your place, and I had a cell cam stolen.
Did you really?
Yeah, a bear hit it on public. A bear like swiped it with his arm, and I figured like it snapped the antenna off or whatever. It did.
Really?
A bear did hit it and snap an antenna, but I was still getting photos, and then I figured the battery died, or whatever, because it's been out there all season. I went there and it was gone.
Oof.
So the bear swiped it,
Although, to be fair, how many did we put up?
and then
Three.
So the bear swiped it.
The bear swiped it.
and then you go back to check it.
The bear swiped
After-
it, and it was still sending me photos for like a week after that, and then like it kept telling me battery's low, and I'm like, all right, it's dead.
And the
So
whole
then like
I
3
think-
weeks or a month after that, I go to get it. And
That
I'm
was
like,
whole-
it's gone.
That was the
whole
only
camera?
one put on the ground.
That was
or
the
at
only
least-
one that was. It was in like
Yeah.
the cedar thicket. If you're the guy out there that stole it, I'd really appreciate it.
the whole
Contact
camera,
them.
We
they
got a
took
bounty out
everything,
for it.
not
Yeah,
just
the strap too.
not just
everything.
the
I even had a piece
Card.
of tape on the inside that said, "Don't be a dingleberry. Don't steal my camera."
I got one even weirder. Okay, stealing a camera is one thing. I was running at first. It started out with 2, then ended up with 4. Then before you know it, I had 7.
Trail cams.
Yeah, the cell cams plus all the other.
You were
old
buying
cell
them, or you were like somehow
Obtaining
acquiring them. You were acquiring
cams.
them.
No, yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, I was buying them. Oh, 'cause
On one hand, I got John like, I keep putting out these cell cams. They're gone on this pheasant hunting property that I own on.
I was using the muddy cameras, and they're good, bad, indifferent, whatever. The worst part about them is their customer service. They don't answer the phone ever. But
How many times have you called them?
That's customer service.
I
for you.
mean, sometimes because I had 2 that went down on me, like completely just wouldn't update nothing, and you would wait on hold for an hour and a half. So I would call them as soon as they opened and just leave my phone just playing their stupid music. And then finally, somebody would pick up. Oh, sorry, wrong department.
You have, to call.
transfer
You have to call GSM Outdoors. They're the ones that bought out.
That's what you think. But GSM Outdoors has a special department just
Customer
for
service.
handling people with problems like me. So long story made short, I
you
finally
got
got
a
them
lot of
straightened out.
problems.
Yeah, more problems than they wanted to handle. But
They're like, send this guy a camera, get him out of here.
yeah, by
Send
the
them
time I
5.
talked to like the 4th person, they're like, "Okay, sir, they're in the mail. Like, just
Yeah.
send the old ones back." But
We
anyways,
overnighted it, all right? Relax, buddy.
at night, I don't know, right before I was going to bed, I'm like, going through all the pictures, and before the rut, like, it was insane on the food plots. The deer, it'd be so many pictures, like you could barely go through them all.
I never experienced that this year.
I was gonna say, when he says, I'm just like,
Yeah, we know.
No
I was
joke.
getting one picture a day just from like the camera, like sending its one photo a day. That
Make
was
sure
my,
it's still on.
Yeah.
No, I'd be going through literally 250 pictures on these like 3 cameras, and then the ones on trails were
That's
a lot
ridiculous.
lower.
I don't think I got 250 pictures this hunting season.
did I hear you right?
Yeah. So I'm going through them, and there's this random picture of this lady standing on her back porch, okay, like potting plants in flower pots.
Did you have a camera pointed at her back porch?
No. This was in like Florida, okay? It was the middle of December. There's banana plants, flowers, and the lady's got her screen door open. I'm like, what in the world is this? It was the last picture on the camera. So I thought somebody swiped it and took it to a different state and set up in somebody's backyard or something. That was the only picture I ever got like that. Never got any more.
That's strange.
We'll have to tag it on something so that people can see it. It is so strange. Like, it's like little buck, lady standing on her back porch. I'm like,
Giant buck.
what in the world?
Yeah, he's being conservative here. Giant buck, giant buck, giant buck, little buck.
What is it?
140-inch deer. Oh, there's a scrub, 125. All right.
Yeah.
No, the scrub, I think, is laying on the ground here. So.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even look at it. It'll make me upset.
You put her around back.
The bow deer. That was an accident.
He put all the big ones away so we wouldn't see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still haven't gotten the old drop time. The 4-point drop time.
Did you get it mounted, John?
Not yet. I was gonna do it myself, and I haven't gotten around to it yet.
A Euro mount?
Yeah, it's still sitting in my fridge.
Fridge or freezer?
No, it's in the fridge. So
That deer was shot 3 months ago.
It's just
Like
marinating
in the
there.
refrigerator, like with your milk and eggs.
No, I have my
Definitely it is.
my
yeah.
beer refrigerator. In my garage.
What's your wife think about this?
Yeah.
Every time she opens the door, she says, "What you gonna do with the deer head that's in the fridge?"
I'll get to
Is it
it
at least in
eventually.
like a bag or something, or when you open it,
Yeah,
is it
it's
just
in a-
googly eyed
no.
looking right at you in the fridge?
It's in a garbage bag in the fridge.
Hey,
so-
I don't-
But like that smell, it comes through.
I didn't. I don't know
that
if we
smell
touched.
comes
Did
through.
we touch on the coffee incident last podcast? I know we were going to talk about it, but did we ever?
No, we didn't.
Fill me in on this because I wasn't there for
Oh boy,
You're going to like this one, Caleb.
Who wants to? Do you want me to tell the story, or do you want to tell the story, Will?
Have Will set the scene.
Yeah,
and then-
I'll start it up and then you can dive in.
Yeah,
What month was that?
it was
December.
December.
2020.
I think we're doing a late season goose hunt.
Was I home from Iowa or was I?
You
home?
were-
I was
you
home
were
from Iowa, so
home.
it was.
Maybe
20
maybe it was duck and we were
No,
going.
because I was in my house that I'm in right now. So you were home from Oregon.
It was. No, it wasn't this past season. It was the season before.
No, the season
were,
before.
You were picking me up. I remember.
I was going to pick
we're
a
going
Will
to
up.
Duck Pond.
Oh.
All right,
we were going
so
to
it's-
Duck Pond.
This was right. But this was.
Oh, baby.
this is
Bad
in
news
December.
bears.
And Duck Pond, mind you, is like probably a good 35, 40 minutes from your house.
Yeah.
And it's a public piece, so you got to get there pretty early if you want one of the good spots because there's only a couple good ones. So
But
John,
even if you do get there,
We were
early,
hunting at
Yeah.
John's
doesn't
house.
mean anything.
no, he picked me up.
I was going.
No,
yeah.
this wasn't at Duck Pond.
No, I was going to. No, I was going to go pick Will up.
I think so.
I was leaving my house to
I
pick Will
swear
up.
it was at John's house in
No.
the
No,
field.
because
and-
it wasn't here, he
There
left.
was 2 situations where I had coffee incidents.
All right, let's
There's two.
let's
Just
do the
have
good
paper
one.
towels.
Let's do the good one.
So, well,
It's paper towels, isn't it?
so I'm
there-
no,
not
I'm
even
going to-
John paper towels.
I'm going to go
like
pick.
a sweatshirt.
I have to drive from my house, which, mind you, is 25 minutes from Will's house, and to pick Will up to go another 20 minutes to Duck Pond. So, we have this new fancy coffee pot. It's a new
Oh
Keurig.
no!
Oh, we got this new fancy Keurig coffee pot. It's supposed to do, the Keurig.
The K-cups.
The one K-cup on the side, and you can do the whole pot on its own. So I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I'm going to set up. You can do the timer on the thing, and you can set a timer to do a whole pot because, I take a whole pot with me to go when I go to hunt.
Because you have the biggest Yeti there is for it.
I have the big. I don't even know what size it is, but
It's
I
a
have
big-
the
it's a
biggest.
big boy.
I got the big boy. So I go to set the timer.
The night before, right?
I set the timer the night before. I never actually put the pot underneath the coffee pot. So everything is
Sounds like a
making-
recipe for disaster, John.
It was a major recipe for disaster. It's making coffee, and the pot is not underneath it.
And you weren't anywhere in sight.
He's still
No.
sleeping at this
the-
point.
the best part is
still
coming up.
It's making coffee. It's boiling over. It's pouring coffee over the place. I wake up. I see this shit, and I says, I ain't dealing with this. I wake up my wife, and I says, honey,
And how long had you been married at this point?
a couple months.
1 month. 1 month.
Off to the races, John.
He left his poor wife.
I told her, I said, there's a mess in the kitchen. I'm going duck hunting.
I'm
I
out of here.
left the house.
I'll be back.
Coffee on the
I'll be back
couch.
around too.
I stopped at Quick Check, got myself a cup of coffee, and I picked Will up. My wife, when I got home, my wife was, she was
hot.
pissed. She was pissed. She said, you said you left a mess. You didn't mean you left a mess of the whole kitchen. Because that boy, when there's no pot, I don't know, I've never experienced this before, but when you don't leave a pot underneath the coffee maker, it boils out over top of it, and then the coffee grounds come out with the coffee
Oh,
water.
so it didn't even come out the bottom.
No, it never came out
Because there's
the
a
bottom.
safety for that.
There's a safety for
Until
that.
it floods out the filter.
So it
This
flooded
story
out the
gets better
filter.
every time.
Oh, geez. I thought it just
And
brewed
it
down
came
and out.
it came out the top. And
Nice.
it just made hot coffee, water, grounds all over the entire countertop, all over the clean dishes I never put away, all over the pot, all over everything else that was sitting out
floor.
on the floor. The dog was trying to licking up that shit. It was a disaster.
I feel like this is a great opportunity for you to look into the camera and maybe apologize to your wife.
Caitlin, if you're listening, I love
Huge
you.
shout out.
I love you. This is the first coffee incidents that we've had, and I know we have had many more since then.
It probably will have more.
John, maybe this is a time you just stick
I
to the
love you.
K-cups.
Honestly, though, the last week or so, I've been drinking tea.
Oh, tea hits different.
Yeah.
What do we have to say about that? Because
Tyler could use a cup of tea.
Like I was feeling a little
Under
I
the
had
weather.
I had a head cold a little bit, and the coffee was like getting in my throat. You know, and like even when you get that,
You need something light.
you need some light.
Yeah,
So
smooth.
I've been having tea. So we've had what is it? English breakfast tea.
Oh, yeah,
what
good
they call it?
stuff.
It's just black tea.
Most tea is black.
I've had
yeah.
that. Okay, I didn't know.
You put milk in your tea.
No, just
Yeah,
black.
let's talk about how you make the tea first.
Oh, first off, we
then
have
how you
an
spill it.
electric.
Yeah. And how Kate cleans
Honestly,
it up.
I don't know if I could mess this up because we have an electric kettle.
Ooh.
It just like you put water into it into a certain amount, and then you click the button, and then it boils it
Over the
and then
top.
You put it in your cup. You pour it into your cup with the tea bag in it. So I've been for a week. I haven't had coffee for over a week.
How are you living?
How do you feel?
Honestly, I feel good.
You feel
I
dangerous?
can relate
He's
to
like,
that.
I feel dangerous.
I can
feel-
relate
I-
to
I
that.
feel-
There's a
little
look in his
dangerous.
eye.
Dude,
You see that?
It's like, I feel quick. I feel dangerous.
I haven't. I've been having like 4 or 5 Yeti cups, like the 20-ounce Yeti cups of the tea. 4 or 5 of those a day.
That'll clean you out.
4
Instead
or
of-
5 a day.
That's the problem with the tea, though, because
it's like
you
I-
want
I-
your caffeine. So
Well,
you're like,
yeah.
I'm just going to keep drinking it because it's
Yeah.
good. And it's
It's
actually kind of
different.
like a little hydrating.
Yeah.
Way more than coffee.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like I used to drink a pot of coffee a day. Mm-hmm. I drink a whole pot by myself.
Before work.
Before I left my house, I would drink a pot of coffee.
You and Joey.
Me, well, Joey
Joey get
likes
half
the
a
beer.
pot too on the floor.
John hasn't figured out his coffee pot holds more than what the
No, so
or the water tank on the coffee pot holds more than what goes in the the
if
coffee
I
pot
ever
itself.
have to make
Filled
like
it up all the way.
if I ever have to
It
make
still comes
like
out on the
a
floor.
if I have to ever make a time restriction on the coffee pot, like if I say like I need the coffee done at this time of the day, like I just okay, I'm like I want coffee done at 4 o'clock
Figure
in the
this
morning.
out for me.
I'm like, I need coffee done at 4 o'clock in the morning, and she's like, okay, I'll take care of it. I don't need that mess again.
Yeah, I'm sure she's way more willing to take
three
care of it now.
times was enough.
She's a saint.
The poor woman.
Yeah. Here's a question for you guys: when you're shooting your shotguns, one eye open or both eyes open?
I'm definitely a both eyes open. Even
Right.
if I try and tell myself
Really?
to close one eye, yeah.
Both eyes.
What about
always.
you, Will?
I think it's both eyes open too.
Really?
You're one eye?
Yeah, and I think it's because of growing up, like learning to shoot a rifle and a shotgun at the same time. That's what I thought it was at first. And then at school, I dabbled in some competitive shooting, which those kids are like next level. They're like set up to do that stuff. I'm just out there with an old 1187, like, giving her hell. And the coach is like, "Why are you shutting your eye?" I'm like, "What do you mean, why am I shutting my eye?" So I can see down the barrel with my right eye. And he's like, what eye is dominant? I'm like, I don't know. So he did this test on me. Well, it turned out my left eye is naturally dominant, but I shoot righty. Well, that creates a problem because if I like look down the barrel with both eyes open, all I see is the left side of the barrel. So I can't shoot with both eyes open, or I didn't think I could. So for like 3 months, he had me shooting with a pair of glasses with like a paper over the top of the right eye. And
Really?
all this, yeah, to try to train my eyes. And eventually, by the end of it, it could, because like when you're shooting clays like that, and birds are the same thing, to be able to see where another one could potentially be coming from, if you got, you know, your left eye or whichever arm you're shouldering your gun on, your opposite eye closed, you might miss something, you know, coming along. But I found that actually more naturally bird hunting, both my eyes were open. But when I'd get into like, you know, competitive, like, you know, you're trying to break as many clays as you can,
I think
it's like over focus.
I think when I
Yeah.
shoot clay birds, I close one eye
yeah,
because it's different.
right. But it's not supposed to be.
I know it's not supposed to be, but it's like it's
But it
a
is.
different mindset when you're just shooting clays. Like you can really focus on what you're
Right,
doing.
because you got time, because you're like,
yeah,
It's weird,
Oh.
yeah. Because it's like when I was probably 12, 11 years old, that's when I found out that I was left eye dominant. And that's when I started just focusing on shooting left-handed. And
oh, so you shoot left-handed because you're left eye dominant.
now that since when I was 11, 12 years old, like I found out that I was left eye dominant, that now I've been shooting left-handedly, that now I have to shoot
Left-handed.
left-handed.
But it helps your shooting because your eyes
It
automatically
does,
right on that
because
side.
now I will, when I'm shooting birds and everything, like I keep both eyes open,
Right.
and I shoot left-handed,
Yeah.
and I couldn't shoot a gun right-handed. I couldn't shoot
you
a
had
gun
to.
right-handed if I tried to. Yeah,
That's funny. Interesting.
it's like I write right-handed, but I couldn't shoot a gun right-handed.
No kidding. That's pretty cool. Speaking of shooting guns, what kind of gun do you shoot?
I got the biggest, oldest
Mossberg.
piece of shit. I got it. No,
Nothing against
Stoker.
Mossberg, American-made company.
I have a
Great company.
Stoker M2000.
Oh, those things are killers.
It's one of those things where the value, instead of going down, it's going back up now.
No, it's like
They won't die.
Antique.
I got this gun.
that's just inflation.
This
That's what
was
that's called.
this was my first 12 gauge gun that I got.
Uh-huh.
Like as my dad got this for me as a gift. I was 12 years old. It's a M2000. It's before like Stoker made sense, and it's before it was like in between like when Stoker was made in New Jersey and when Stoker was bought out by Benelli.
Uh-huh.
So it's a M2000, but it shoots, 3-inch shell. But it's honestly, I don't know. I don't even know how many rounds I've put through this gun. It's insane.
It still shoots.
Yeah.
It shoots incredible.
It's treated you pretty well.
I put through I just got this past season. I put a Carlson cremator in it.
She roller kicks.
No, Carlson, we proved in the video.
I put a Carlson
Sorry,
cremator
Will.
in it. It's been shooting great, and now just for this next season, I've been thinking about getting a Benelli.
Ooh.
Just because I love the way the Stoker feels. I love how
I could see you with
I
like a
can't
Louis
beat it.
Vuitton wrapped stock Benelli, like out there with like
Velvet wrap.
yeah,
I can't beat this gun.
Versace Benelli.
I can't beat this gun up. Like I
beat my 3000
I-
up to the bones.
I clean this gun once a year.
They can take it
I clean this gun once a year, and that's it. Like this,
once a year.
once a year, I clean this gun. That's
Whoa.
it. And I've had this gun since I was 12 years old. And once a year, I've cleaned it. And I pheasant hunt like crazy. Like I pheasant hunt.
That's
This-
actually rough on them because all the little seeds get in there in
Yep.
the action.
That the pheasant hunting is the worst because like this past year, like I pheasant hunted probably Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays every week. I pheasant hunted 3 days a week, and I just cleaned it
I've
other
actually
day.
been in the habit where I'm cleaning my Winchester SX4 every time I shoot it, pretty much every
Yeah.
time. I mean, if I
Every
clean
good
it,
event.
if I clean it and shoot it like 2 or 3 times, I'm not going to clean it.
Yeah.
But like after after the hunt we just had,
Yeah.
I cleaned it.
It'll make it last a lot longer
Yeah.
because all those wear parts aren't going to get that grit wearing on them.
Or you just do what Will does and buy a gun and don't ever shoot it.
Don't use it.
Well, I
Don't use it.
peg
Trying
Will
to
as like
sell
a
it to me.
Beretta guy.
He's got an
what?
He's
SX4.
like a Beretta guy.
No, I got a nice X4, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice. SX4 gang is.
no. So
You should just buy
Caleb,
one.
Will doesn't shoot his though.
No,
Dude,
I told my
shoot
dad.
it.
I told
Every
my
time we
dad.
go
I was
duck
Dude,
like,
the SX4.
We duck on twice a year.
I told my dad. I was like, I'm gonna get
this year.
the Sig. No, not the Sig.
The SIG.
All right, we're talking about shotguns here, John.
Excuse me.
John's got it all mixed up.
I'm sorry.
He's going
My
duck hunt.
Thompson
Hold
Center.
on. Time out.
Duck hunt
While
with my
we're on that
PP-26.
subject,
I was thinking about.
Hold
I
on,
went on a
hold
walk earlier. I took my Sig with me. I
We-
carry my Sig. Sorry.
We did go to Duck Pond. While you mentioned bring the wrong gun, we went to Duck Pond and we brought a couple kids with us.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
And we're standing there in the morning while John is cooking breakfast. And this our buddy, he opens his gun case and he pulls out a gun
It was like a 30-06 or something.
It was a
with a scope on it. And we're going duck hunting.
Are you serious?
yeah.
Yeah, first we're like, did you
Sean.
put your slug? Oh no, maybe it was a slug gun.
Sean brought a slug gun.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
On purpose?
No, he
No,
forgot.
yeah,
He didn't
he
even
grabbed the wrong gun.
He didn't check the case.
Ooh.
He has one
He's like-
case that he
That's
takes
bad.
with him when he travels.
He's like, this is always my shotgun. Nah, it wasn't a shotgun this time.
Nope. I just thought about this before we jumped on. We were sitting upstairs eating some pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Just
What kind of
chit-chatting.
pizza? What kind of pizza? Real quick,
What
just
did
tell
we
me.
order?
New Jersey pizza.
Pepperoni.
Jersey, yeah.
We ordered the
Pepperoni cheese,
spread
yeah.
because I know old John over here, he can eat.
We got like 4 different kinds.
All right. I didn't mean to go off track.
Anyway,
Go
and
ahead.
we're sitting there like, maybe it'd be cool to answer some questions from some fans. So we went onto our Instagram page.
yeah. I have a lot of questions. Let me see if I got
did
one.
we, did we
have we
get a lot
gotten-
of questions?
I want to know if we gotten one question, just one.
Pretty disappointed in the viewers right now.
I think you'll probably have more viewer interaction when they hear about your future plans.
Yeah, our first podcast hasn't gone live yet, so like that may have something to do with it.
That probably would be the reason why we haven't gotten any questions yet.
We got a decent amount on that YouTube live that we did though,
Did you?
but we had told people.
How
We-
about the wood duck box making videos that pick up any speed?
I think it only made like 100 views.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything crazy. but
130 views.
That'll be
Nice.
something that like people will be able to go back and like
No,
Google,
I think that's a
how to
good
make wood
informational
duck
video.
box. Yeah,
The goose video is doing pretty good.
is it?
Yeah.
That one's at, let me see here.
So for all you that listening to this, tell your friends to go watch it. You go watch it.
2.1K. Sweet.
Yeah, rocking.
Anyways.
What's the last one at from 2018? Like
Oh, that one's over 4 million.
rocking.
Oh, that one's just grinding still.
Yeah, that was pretty cool aha moment when for a while you could Google the word goose hunting and the first
And
thing
we're right there.
The first thing to pop up
Yeah.
was that.
Yeah.
I mean that was cool.
I think this goose hunt that we just had, it took a while for the original goose hunting one from 2018 to gain some traction, you know? So I think over the
Yeah.
course of the next 6 months or a year, like it's going to take a while. I
know.
remember the first year, maybe it made 100K.
right.
And then after that,
how many people right now are looking at goose hunt videos? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like the stuff that I'm starting to look at now, like I'm starting to stack up for fishing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like I might be looking for more ideas with the snow goose stuff since we're really starting to do some stuff with that. But mainly like fishing, like what new stuff's out in the market? What are guys trying
Mm-hmm.
new, you know?
that's a great topic.
I'm
Let's,
not looking at goose hunt at all, like right now.
Let's go ahead and take a 5-second break. I got to take a leak, and then I want to jump back on quick before we wrap things up and talk about the fishing season and what that's
a good
going to
idea.
take.
I
That's a good idea.
think
We'll
it's
take a
gonna be
quick
good.
break. All right,
Let's break. I mean, it'll clean your throat. You won't feel sick at all.
we're recording again.
And we're back.
We'll take it away. We back. Johnny's token away. inhaling like a chief.
$5 cigars.
The Beaver Den.
Wait, hold on. Let me drop a beat.
Right.
That was a bad beat. Dog.
That's going to be my
Sounds like Thanksgiving when the whole family.
Get the boy off the boards.
Drop these keys like it's hot.
All right, so
Drop that pouch like it's hot.
No.
also when we stood up, we didn't realize it, but there had been a
Mousetrap.
mouse trap with a mouse in it below Tyler's
It done
feet
ran
the
out
entire
underneath
time.
Tyler's feet.
I've been
over
playing
here.
footsies with this thing on the ground the whole time.
I thought he knew the whole time, so I wasn't saying nothing. But then he got up and then he realized that it was kind of funny.
You guys missed it. Actually, no, the camera was recording still.
Eh,
Never stopped it.
can't when it's in
Hold on.
focus.
Is that a mosquito?
No, I just clapped so I can sync the audio again. Does that make sense? So like when I go into my Premiere Pro to edit, now when I clap, there'll be in the sound waves a really high pitched, quick claps. Like you can see the sound wave go up
Now
and
that's
down
a
really
trick of the
quick.
trade. If I
Yeah.
ever heard
So now I can sync audio that way.
Nice.
So Caleb,
All right, yeah. Let's continue this conversation here because we were just gaining traction.
tell us.
Well, I guess in the wood box. Ugh, I can't even talk now. The wood duck box building video.
Right.
There were some things in there.
Sneak peek.
Right. Sneak peek.
Sneak
Yeah.
peek.
Yeah. Tyler
Take the floor.
He slipped in a little video there. So basically, the long and the short of it is, we're running a new vessel this year. John. Bush. Wow.
We'll have to work on getting that a little bit more flawless. But
Yeah.
Sorry, team.
Anyhow, the long and the short of it. So we went in on a new boat this year. So I'm hoping to start doing some guiding, fishing primarily on the Delaware River.
Can we talk about the boat
Yeah, we
a
can.
little bit here?
We can talk about the boat. Yeah, let's talk about the
So
boat.
just run through the boat and your setup, and then we'll go into.
Okay, so
What else
this
you wanna talk about?
this boat is like a culmination of the past 20-something years of my life of spending time on boats of all different shapes and sizes, $100,000 boats and $100 boats. I mean, I've seen the best of them and had the worst of them. But no, so basically, I designed this thing already back in the late spring last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it on paper, drew it out, and started to get some, quotes going with the custom boat builders. I knew that I wanted to go with one of three main boat builders, either Prodigy, Timber Creek, or Tossed Around Low Country. So yeah, I basically kicked that around a little. The build is set up to be what I would think is the perfect river shallow water boat mixed with a bass fishing gym of, the big front deck to work off of. Also with allowing you to be able to bow fish out of it and carry multiple people as a passenger vessel, and secondly for hunting. It's not a boat that you're going to take out in the mud puddles like our mud rigs, but it is a boat that you're going to try to go fast, to go far, and cover some spots. So by having the boat, it's going to have a 150 horsepower Yamaha on the back of it, a jet motor, so that reduces down to 105 horsepower. Hopefully it'll get in the mid 30s. We'll see. So right now it's set up so it seats me, the driver, two people in nice Millennium style chairs right behind the driver's leaning post, and then two other people could sit on the decks or however is comfortable. But most of the time I anticipate probably having 2 people, 3 people on board plus me. So I currently have it at the boat shop. It's getting the motor put on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's going a little slower than I'd hoped, but I kind of had a feeling that was going to be the case.
What's the hold up there?
So this is kind of a big deal with the boat. with the pandemic, the motors were really hard to come by.
Yeah.
Right. So I couldn't get the boat built until I had a motor, because all these boat builders told me, they're like, guy, we can't build you this boat because we have no motor to put on it, and we're not going to. So long story made short, a local guy who sells boat motors and lawnmowers ended up getting his hands on one, and it was the only one around, and I had looked all over the country. So I bought it from him. This was back in August. Then the next week, solidified the boat build, and I decided to go with Prodigy. They're based out of Georgia. They're also a faith-based company, so that was big for me. And I knew they had a lot of experience with the jet boats, more than just the mud boats. They're built different. So that was important. So I went with them. They're going to build the boat, right? It's going to be done at the end of January, which it was.
How long was that? At what time frame were you going to have them build it?
From the first week of September.
Okay, so that's a pretty quick turnaround time.
Yeah, so they figure on like a 16-week lead time is what they're working with. This was more of a complex build for them, though.
Yeah.
Because it has features that they hadn't built into boats before. It's got 2 live wells in it, special rod holders and decks and stuff. So they weren't really sure what that was going to take. But it ended up getting done in time, which was good. Went down there, picked it up. And shortly after, we filmed that video with the wood ducks. So I had it in our shop, and I wanted to do all the rigging myself. Wanted to save money in because I know how to do it. It'd be pointless to pay somebody to do it.
Yeah.
So getting all the graphs set up on it. It's got state-of-the-art Garmin's trolling motor, 3 graphs, live scope, the whole 9 yards. But now the holdup at the boat shop is that he doesn't have the right cable, and he couldn't get the wire through. And now I just found out today that apparently the motor I bought didn't come with a jet foot. He thought it was with it, but it wasn't in there. So now he's going to steal one off another motor that he has laying around, and kind of concerned about that, so I'm going to check on that tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm sure he'll do me right. Like, he's an upstanding guy. I think he's just a little overburdened with what he's got going on. So hoping to have it on the water next weekend. Was looking to have it on the water tomorrow morning. That's not going to be the case, but
You must be dying just to get that thing out.
yeah, I mean, I am. At this point, I've waited so long
Yeah.
though that
What's
it's
another
like,
couple weeks?
what's another week?
Right.
But at a certain point, when the weather's changed, that's hard. Like when we were just down in Texas this past week,
Oh.
dude, it's like 70 degrees, sunny out. That spring breeze is like blowing, and you're like, oh my word, like I
gotta get out
could be
here.
crushing the smallmouth right now in the river. Obviously, here it was a lot colder.
Yeah.
So, the cold weather kind of holds me down, and the snow geese is like calming my addiction. Because something strange about me is like I have this really weird on-off switch where like hit March, bang, it's like fishing. Like talk to me about hunting. I might go turkey hunting a couple times, but like I am focused on it. I'll spend what I'm going to spend on budgeting for fishing, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right. Like I'm either all in or I don't even want to be involved, which is probably
That's something I can appreciate about you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's dangerous sometimes.
Yeah.
I think my wife probably sees that more than others, but either going to be all in or not. So with fishing season, it's March. Like I'm planning, new tackle I need to get into the system. Like I said, researching new stuff that's going on, the weather, whatever.
Research and development.
Yeah, research and development, key. Looking back at last year, what happened, the year before, what happened. And I also had the chance to do some competitive fishing in college and Bassmasters and FLW series, and really learned a lot about bass fishing as a sport instead of a hobby. Like
There's a big difference.
Yeah, there's a big difference. Like the competitive side to that, not only brings in the merchandise side of things and promotions and stuff, but it brings in more of a focus.
Right.
Pay attention to the little things.
There's a lot more preparation, I would say.
Right. It's not like, hey, you want to just go fishing? It's like we have to fish this day, this day, this day.
Yeah.
And normally in school, we either couldn't afford to fish that day, and that day, or the boat was broke that day and that day and that day. So it was always a game. But now the idea is moving forward from that to be set for the next who knows how many years, to be able to work with this boat, do it right, and get it done and be able to get out in the water reliably and safely. Because for a while, I always joked around with everybody, if I ever started my own, YouTube page, it was going to be called Getting There, because normally getting there was the easy part and getting back was just terrible, or getting there was bad. We were broke down more times than not. So I'm kind of past that, that stage. But anyhow, with fishing season in full swing, I'll fish until August. And then if somebody asks me to go fishing, I'll probably tell them you're crazy. Bang, my head switched right to deer hunting, and it's early goose season. I'm not really full into it yet, but then come October, I'm not thinking about fishing. I take a little siesta to go up to the Salmon River and do a little steelhead fishing up there. Mm-hmm. We've done that for a long time. And we skipped it for 2 years, and then this year was the first year going back, and it made me gave me that nostalgia of being a little kid with your dad up fishing on the river. But
so, growing up, you've spent a lot of time on the Delaware River. The Delaware, for our viewers, is a large river that runs through.
It's our border waters.
Yeah.
It splits New Jersey and
Pennsylvania. Right. It runs a good stretch locally here, and Caleb, you've fished it. I've fished it a handful of times for shad and stuff. I've had a lot of fun doing that. I'd like to do more of it. However, I don't have a boat. But Caleb, I know a guy too now. This guy's gonna be my future best friend. So you've spent a lot of time on the river,
right?
Throughout getting your driver's license to now.
Yeah.
The boats that you've had, the USS Neversink, like a 14-foot John boat with a 9.9 on it. Now to
a 12-foot John boat.
12-foot.
It started with a 3-horse on it.
Yeah. So, and now coming all the way to this big custom boat. And for those of you that don't know, from the talking I've had with Caleb, the river is a lot more dangerous than what I originally had thought.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, just from
you picture driving your boat on a pond or a lake, and times it by 10 for the danger level. And that's what you,
especially because
on the river,
lakes are fairly consistent from year to year. However, the river changes every year.
Yeah.
So you have to almost, for the most part, kind of relearn it a little bit every year. So just from the talking I've done with Caleb, I feel very comfortable, I would say, in your abilities. I mean, obviously anything can happen, but just from your stories and stuff, you've kind of,
and you're comfortable in Caleb's abilities, not
yeah. I'm comfortable in Caleb's abilities, so
it is a different ball game though, and it's almost really the right way. I feel like for somebody to get into it is to have the opportunity to start as a kid with no money, using a boat that's not even supposed to be out there.
Yeah,
that God forbid you do bang this thing up really bad,
which you did.
You don't really lose that much. And you're going to go home at night and learn how to fix it and learn how to be a mechanic, really, because you don't have the money to pay somebody to do it, so you're going to learn it yourself. I feel like that's a good way to learn it, because when there's low horsepower, there's normally lower hurt.
Yeah.
More of a common thing now, especially I saw it crazy during COVID. People were going out because they were able to spend time in the great outdoors all of a sudden and buying, really expensive, these big boats with no prior experience of driving on the river. And I would watch him come out of the launch and could tell right away, this guy does not. He might know how to drive a boat. He might be the boat driver on the lake. But you see him come out and just go zooming right up the middle of the river because he assumed the middle is the deepest. And next thing you know, he's sitting on dry land.
Yeah. In 6 inches of water.
6 inches of water. So
I feel like he exactly described what we did at Indian Lake.
Caleb probably would have been an asset there. We may not.
You need a
map. Yeah.
These idiots, they pull right out of the marina.
Yeah. So anyway,
we crashed a boat on rocks.
that wasn't with Austin, was it?
Yeah. We're about 100 yards from the boat launch, and we pretty much totaled his boat.
Oh my god.
Continue on though.
Anyways, you want to hear about it, listen to our first podcast. But so
Okay.
basically, I guess what I'm saying is I learned from you that I originally thought I would be the guy on the river ripping my new boat right up the middle, thinking it'd be safe.
Right.
But from hearing from you and some other guys that have run the river, it's quite dangerous, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of it has to do with like the areas that we're in. Like, I don't know, it's hard to describe without being out there and like pointing it out to somebody on film, which I definitely think we could do. But you'll be in 35 feet of water 1 minute, and the next minute you're in 2 inches of water. And if you know how to read water and you've seen it and you've lived it, it just kind of comes natural. Like, okay, this is the break where I need to go. This is where I shouldn't go. But sometimes it'll sneak up on you. There can be that rock that's sitting under the surface, and it's a giant rock, so it's not leaving a ripple in slow water, but it's still there. Those things normally don't move. What moves is, the tighter water, from year to year, like you were saying. And I can remember even last year, especially places that, we used to go through no problem. All of a sudden it was like, whoa, this is going to be way too shallow. We got to find a new way. And vice versa. Some places that used to be way too shallow, we just zoom right up through there. So it's like a constant learning thing. So it's not as much anymore of like, okay, I'm going to learn it as good as I can learn it. It'll never change. Like, it'll be the same. I can remember it forever. It's more like, how can I learn to learn it?
Right. It's almost like your experience has taught you how to adapt.
Right.
More than anything.
Yeah, at a second's notice. And this will be the fastest boat that I've ever owned as far as like a river boat. So it'll be two good things. Normally, the faster you're going, if you're up on plane with a good boat, you're running shallower, but also you can create more damage.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely sure that we're going to put dents in this thing because I'm going to push it to the limits, but that's why I got it for.
Yeah. Are we gonna duck hunt up north?
Oh yeah. I would like to take it to the Jersey Shore, to take it to South Jersey where we hunted this past season, and at some point I'd like to go to Cayuga.
Do you think that this year you're going to be guiding or no?
No, I don't anticipate it. It could be in the fall, but I kind of feel I'm working on the captain's license portion right now, and that's like a big undertaking. So I feel as though it'll either be late fall or we'll bring it up hot and heavy in the spring.
Which isn't a horrible idea. You can learn your boat, learn your electronics.
Right. So that was kind of my thinking behind that exactly was if I want to go out there, hot and heavy, as soon as I, am completely certified and legally can do this, insured and all that stuff and branded besides. But it would be nice to just have a year just to be able to,
to enjoy it almost,
Right. Just to be able to enjoy it because chances are any free time that I have that clients want to go, we're going to be going. Yeah. It's not like I'm going to, be fishing with my friends during that time. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that'll be really nice to have that year. So I think that's kind of my goal. That gives me time to work everything out, fit the pieces in.
Yeah, you can get it figured out and then, go from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I guess you guys, the viewers can expect some fishing videos then on the new boat.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to make some really cool stuff, especially I think the viewers will like the bow fishing.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So I've never bow fished before. But talking to you, Caleb, I think you guys have really narrowed it down and had great success bow fishing. So
great success.
Great success. We're pretty excited about that portion. Definitely. I mean, you guys have proved it. You've killed tons of carp and stuff. So I'm super excited to go out this summer and do some of the bow fishing.
We'll definitely shoot until your arm falls off because I actually haven't done a ton of shad fishing, even though like our river's known for the American shad run in the East Coast because it's the long undammed river from the ocean.
I know a couple good spots.
Yeah,
I think that I have good spots.
I can tell you where all the shad are. I just never chased them because when we go out at night, we can literally shoot at them until our arms fall off of our shoulder. I mean,
so you probably have better spots than me.
When you're fishing for them during the day, you're like, is there even shad in this river?
Yeah, and then you're like, bump, oh, we got one.
Are they here or am I in the wrong river? And then you go out at night, and it's like going to SeaWorld.
Really?
And looking into the water. I'm dead serious.
I will say, growing up, I have swam quite a bit in the Delaware. And Caleb's like, yeah, once you come out bow fishing with us for
Yeah.
a night,
You ain't gonna wanna
chances
do
of you
that.
going
It's
swimming in
like-
the Delaware again are slim to none
Yeah.
from the fish you're going to see.
I mean, you see like big like native fish, like the muskie are big, and you'll see
Mm-hmm.
lampreys sometimes, and some of the eels even.
Oh,
Like
man.
the eels will be
Eels.
as big around as a
The
beer can
eels.
and like 4 foot long.
Oh,
like the
yeah.
biggest ones.
I ain't going to
You don't
say
even
that.
think that that's a
Hey,
real thing.
taste
I
the
usually
best.
enjoy our yearly Delaware float, so
If we get 100 likes on this
Oh.
video, on this podcast, when we go bow fishing with Caleb, I will push Will overboard when we see one of those eels.
Yeah, but those
yeah.
eels,
Scout's honor.
if we get less than 100, Tyler's going on.
No shot.
those
No shot.
eels
I will sit
taste
there and
the
like the video
best.
100 times.
Yeah.
Come on,
The only thing I've seen, crazier than that, we have seen snakeheads and stuff, but
Have you?
was a baby bull shark, and that's no lie.
You swear?
Certified by a biologist that it was legit
On the Delaware.
on the Delaware.
It's possible.
We were floating back through a group of catfish, and they're in the shallow water, and there had to be 100 of them. They were schooled up, and a lot of people. A fun fact for viewers: a lot of people are fishing deep holes for catfish. Sometimes the catfish are actually in only 2 feet of water because
Really?
they're going to feed at night. So everybody be fishing in deep holes. We're bow fishing, and we're looking at hundreds of them schooled up in the shallows, and like big ones too. 5 to 15 pounds, some of them. And we're floating back through this like fast section of water. It's too fast to bow fish. Like you just make a mess if you
Yeah,
shoot
you
at
just
something.
float it quick, right?
Yeah, we just float through it and get back to the heady. And we're facing forward, and it's like, wow, look at all these blue cats, channel cats, whatever. And then right in the middle of the group is this freaking bull shark with this dorsal fin, and he's like the same size as all the catfish.
So what, like 2 or 3 feet?
Yeah, 2, maybe 2.25 long. So not like he's gonna rip your
Yeah.
foot off, big.
Yeah, but still.
So I was like almost unbelieving my eyes, but like I knew I saw it. Like you're looking at 100 catfish, and this one fish in the middle does not look like the
Yeah.
same, right? So a week later, we were launching at night, like 10 o'clock to go bow fishing again, and they had these light towers set up on the shore, on the beach. I'm like, what the heck? So I was like kind of sketched out. So I pulled the boat over there, and it was the biologist from Pennsylvania and a bunch of guys. They were doing like putting out nets to collect the fish and do like a survey on them. So I took them to the side. I said, hey, look, I said, we spent like every other night of this summer on this river bow fishing. And the other night, we are 99.99% sure that we all saw a baby bull shark. And I swear to you that none of us drink. Like, that was before we were 21 or anything. And I'm serious. Like, we don't smoke anything. Like, I'm dead serious. Is that possible? He's like, oh, yeah. We've seen them up here before. Their moms bring them up here from the ocean, drop them off here to eat the shad, and then they go back to the ocean when they're big.
Really?
I'm like, are you kidding? Like, that was legit. He's like, oh, I guarantee it. Where did you see it? I said, right above Dingman's Bridge. And Dingman's Bridge has a really deep hole under the bridge. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm sure its mom brought it up, to that point, and it was too shallow there, and she decided she didn't want to stay, so she headed back to the ocean.
Really?
I'm like, yikes. So I started, like, looking into it, like, on Google. Apparently, whales have been as far north as Trenton.
Really?
No. Yeah. Trenton?
And there
Crazy.
you have it.
But anyways, the wild and wonderful Delaware.
Yeah.
We're going to get out there. We're
That
going
Oh,
place
we're gonna
is-
have to get out there.
that
we're gonna make
place is
some beautiful
insane.
videos
Yeah, we are.
and some really cool photography. Beautiful eagles and
Oh, it's
Yeah.
it's the eagles are insane on that river.
yeah. I'm really excited also with the guide service for people that maybe don't like to fish, to be able to take them out and show them a piece of God's creation. If they're not able or wanting to rent a canoe and go float the river, to hey, flip me a couple bucks and we're gonna go on a couple hour tour, and I'm gonna show you what this place is made of. What's here, and
Just-
take them to see the eagle nest and how beautiful God's creation really is.
Yeah, just to be able to show them like what everything that God has given to us in this mere
Right.
lifespan that we have, and to be able to show that with other people, and I think that's incredible that
Yeah.
you're able to try and do that with other people.
Yeah, I'm almost looking forward to that part as much as I am the fishing aspect, because the fishing aspect brings with it a portion of some people only be satisfied if they're catching fish. So it's important, that clients, obviously, whenever you come into a guided situation, that you have to have that idea in your head that this might not work out like you're hoping it's going to.
100%.
And a lot of times, first-time guided people might not have that mindset. But I hope to be able to provide an experience that they're happy with the experience, catching the fish.
Especially
It's
since
just
there's not a
happening.
ton of guides in our area.
Right.
No.
Exactly. Your options are, you do have some options depending on what you want to do and where you want to go. But, I kind of hope to make something that allows for people to have another option. Mm-hmm. And hopefully
Something that can be more than just going fishing.
Right. More than going fishing. The boat's name's going to be Revelation, actually.
Oh, yeah? Oh, we have a name now?
Yeah.
Ooh, that hits different.
The first boat that I had was the USS Never Sink. That was kind of a joke because we were in high school and we definitely thought it was going to sink.
Yeah.
Then the next one, we were kind of joking around because my mom would always tell me that I had an 11 o'clock curfew, and we'd bow fish till 4 normally and then go to work. So we were always late for curfew. Well, normally a boat is like, the miss this or the miss that. So the one day, epiphany, it's like 2 a.m, we're bow fishing. We're all just like staring at the water and there's steam coming off and you're starting to get like delusional.
Yeah.
I look, I'm like, the miss curfew.
Miss curfew.
I'm like, it's perfect because we're missing curfew right now. So they're broke the miss curfew, but now we're on to bigger and better things with the Revelation.
That's an awesome name.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to be a revelation in people's lives.
I guess that's a good spot to leave it. The Revelation. You guys can definitely guarantee to see more of that. Leave some comments down below. So maybe some tips for muskie fishing, anything like that. If you're watching here on YouTube, if not, we appreciate you guys listening. We really do. It means a lot to us. And be sure to be on the lookout for more podcasts coming. Will, you got anything else you want to add?
Great night. I love this place. This is a great setting.
Yeah,
Thanks
definitely.
for coming.
We appreciate
It's
you
awesome.
having us. Yeah.
It's been good.
All right, guys. So we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching or listening. Bye.